Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this session. My name is Joost Bergmans. I'm actually the product manager for security and safety at Proximus for about 36 years now. The case we will highlight today is the case of tour and taxis, which will take you from sensor to data as it goes. A little bit about the team. The team is actually a very small team, but a dedicated team for many years now, and we will actually help our customers to become a data-driven company. That's a main goal of the team. The case by itself, as you can see the picture on the screen now, is actually site-wide intelligence at Tour Taxi itself, which is a new site in the building. Yeah. A little bit maybe about Tour Taxis for the people who don't really know about the site. As you can see on the pictures, it's quite an old site from the beginning of the 19th century. The family of Turn and Tassis, there you got the name Tour and Taxis, has started the Belgian postal system. Yeah. They did so until the 60s, and they were about 3,000 people at that time. Yeah. So this is quite a big company at the time. For 50 years afterwards, actually the site was abandoned, and later on a Dutch company bought the site and made it until what it is today: warehouses, event halls, shops, and so on and so on. Okay, we were called in to actually help the customer to see what we could do to digitalize the environment, and also to help him with the security and safety as a whole. Yeah? So actually there were a couple of things that he on requirement. The site-wide safety and security was the first priority so not only for assets but also for people working there. Yeah. Also to reinforce the car park that they have now 2 car parks, and they wanted to have a security there, to have the cars stalled secure way, but also to have the people walking around in a secure manner. Yeah. So they want to automate things because they don't have a lot of people working in that area currently, and so they want to reduce human error. That's why we also came into that aspect. And they want to improve visitor experience as a whole. So the context is they are not digital currently, and so they wanted to actually digitalize the entire site. That's more or less and have a better experience also with a new range of services, and also create an atmosphere to their locals of safety. Yeah. What we did actually, it's a very, very important slide that we see now. What they actually did is, or what we did better, is that we did the exercise in a couple of steps. One of the first steps was to actually try to understand the needs and the pains of the customer, which is very obvious to you, but it was quite a hard task to do, because there are several stakeholders. So we all interviewed the entire stakeholder community to actually get more information from them and to see what the needs are there and the pains. Yeah. So the second step is to implement everything, to actually design it first of all, and to implement afterwards the entire site. Yeah. So this is a very important slide. It's one of the most important one. This is the design by itself, and it's designed as a minimal viable project, not as a minimal viable product, in 10 steps. So we call it 10 steps or sprints. Yeah. If you have a look at it, a close look at this slide, what you can see is there are a number of figures on it which are very important. Those are the 10 steps that we took to actually come to the project itself. Yeah. The first step is not highlighted in this presentation. Why not? Because it's the networking. It's not that the networking is not an important step. It's a very important step. One of my colleagues actually came to rescue me actually, and to help me to find the best solution for the entire project that we would like to realize there. So the next step is the 2 that you see. That's where we as a team come in. That's the edge analytics and the cameras and the sensors. Yeah. We have a variety of sensors, but the choice of sensors that we make are always the intelligent sensors first, where we can have microdata out of it to deliver later on in the chain. Yeah. Another thing is actually we also have the applications in the middle where you see the tree. Those are the applications that actually control all the videos, the sensors and everything, but also do the recording, the storage and everything else. Yeah. Another thing which is very, very important is actually the 4, which is then the next one. Locally, they will have a control room to visualize all the data, the video data, and not the raw data, but the video data on a screen or several screens. That's one of the steps as we go along. To control all of this, to maintain all of this, and we have some device management service that is running. Currently, everything is done on-premise, but as you can see in the drawings itself, we already prepared ourselves and containerized everything. So in the end, that we could move it to that part, at least, that we can move it to the cloud, the private cloud, yeah, or the public cloud, for that matter. So this is a bit of the story, and let's have a look at these different steps altogether. If we take the sensors, for instance, we have a variety of sensors that we use. We have cameras, we have air monitoring sensors in all range, and we have access control sensors. We call them devices, but they are sensors in a way. The cameras, the selection that we made are the top of the range cameras with 4K performance, and also to have the edge analytics on board. Yeah. The same thing with the air sensors, air monitoring, where we actually monitor the ambient air and actually also provide data, raw data, and access control and everything else to the backbone. Yeah. If we have a closer look at a sample, this is a sample which is a real sample that we use from one of our cameras which we installed in the port of Ostend, which shows a 4K image. And what is particular, it's a day and night view, and you can see the great detail that you have on this image, which will provide you later on the information you need when we do video analytics on it and get out of colors, people, objects, and everything else. Yeah. The video analytics is a very important part of what we're doing to actually grab all the data we can to deliver later on to use for the customer to give them insights and so on. We will see that in a later moment. What we did is we proposed a couple of things. We didn't provide a full-scale analytics. We only concentrated on the things that they really were necessary and that they needed. Yeah. So we did detecting objects, temperatures, and forensic analytics, for instance. That's one of the things that they require. We also did some people counting, which we will show later on as well. How do we do that? We do that in 3 ways. We actually install software, analytics software on the camera itself, which is edge-based, and it's either machine learning or deep learning. So that's the 2 ways that we use there. For detecting temperatures, this happens with a secondary lens that we use in the same camera. There's a bit of the camera that we see here with the 2 lenses on top. Yeah, that's this kind of camera. And then when you will see actually happening that the people are measured, temperatures measured, like what's happening with COVID-19 today, it's very useful. Another thing, the latest one, is a central site analytics, which is forensic analytics, where we actually detect everything which is moving, every little pixel that is changing. We measure this pixel, we put it in a time frame, and we will use it later on for data analytics. Yeah. Here you have an example of what we've done so far. This is a real-time example, where we see for the COVID-19, let's say, social distancing. We have 2 examples on the top. Yeah. And if you have a close look at the bottom, this is the temperature measuring, and it goes really fast. If you look at the person going from right to left, you will see that measuring is done instantly. Yeah? You can see 36 degrees, again 36, and again 36 degrees, which is actually very, very dynamic. All these things that are happening on this screen is actually also translated into data. Yeah? The list of data, we have quite an extensive list of applications that we can run on the camera. For Tour and Taxis, we made, on the contrary, we made only a couple of choices, as you can see with the arrows that are shown, the sort of things that we start with. But in the later phase, we can always scale up or scale down any way they like. We can even do it dynamically. Yeah. So this is also possible on the camera, on an application or on a server. Yeah. So a little bit about the backbone, which is the application itself, or the applications that we have so far, which are important in the first phase of this installation, is a video management platform, and that is very crucial because, first of all, we need to guarantee security and safety at the site, and therefore also manage all the devices, and this is happening in the video management application. As you can see on the screen itself, the analytics is also shown in the top of the two video fields that you can see. For forensic analytics, it's actually it's a separate software or a separate application, but it also connects immediately to the video management application by itself. Yeah. So what does it do? It actually is connected real time to all the video that it gets from the video management platform, and it will detect every pixel and put a timestamp on that pixel. So in order for us to be able to track it later or to do some filtering later. That's just a bit of the idea about that. Here you have an example that can be used. We could show easily on a digital signage screen. We could show this. We could show that we have two images. And we can show the number of people that are in that area. Why? With COVID, we could say if we go above 50 people, we will get a red square around it and say this is no longer available for you to enter this zone. This is one of the things that on the right-hand side, on the bottom, you can see also the analytics in real time, which will show. Yeah, this is actually a real video footage from the analytics. And as you can see, we can do hours in seconds or in minutes for that matter. You can see that there are different timestamps, although you can see various people. They are not there the entire sequence. This is over a 24-hour sequence or a 12-hour sequence that we show here. Yeah. Big data begins with little data, for sure. So what we deliver as a team, we deliver actually micro data. We don't do macro data, which the difference is that the quality of the data is very high. So that's very important for you to understand from us. This is our key target. Yeah. We will actually aggregate all this data coming from different sensors because we have, as I mentioned, we have video sensors, we have air sensors, and we have also access control sensors. But there are other sensors on site which we also can aggregate that data from. Third-party data is also possible to aggregate. Yeah. So basically, we are going to propose this customer, this tour and taxi, actually a platform which will actually aggregate the data and do customized analytics on it. Again, we will show this in various possible dashboards, not only dashboards, but also some action is taken on it as well. So this is also possible. A little example of a dashboard is actually this dashboard, which is a click dashboard. It's actually sitting inside the video management platform. And you can have some dials, you can have some graphs, and anything is possible. It's customizable, so it doesn't mean that this is the only graph you get. You can build it as you want, or we can build it for you as you want. So this is a little bit of the background. Same thing with this one. Although this is an open source platform from Grafana, in this matter, you can see that we don't have the same graphs as here. Yeah, we have different graphs. But you can customize it again, or we can customize it for you as you want. And it's just an example of a health status that we show here, and the number of people that are on site at that point in time. So this is a bit of the story. Okay, the final thing that we have for today, at least, is the real-time monitoring. So all this data is not technical data. Yeah, we also need to monitor all the devices. We also need to monitor not only the sensor, the devices, as I said, but also the applications and the network and everything else. So this real-time monitoring delivers also data. This is called technical data, and this data we also capture, and we will also use it for several things, like not only to view if the health status of the IoT device or the application, but also do some patch management, and to derive insights again from that, from these data. Yeah? Here you see, you have an example of that. This is again in Grafana, but you have an example here where we show actually, which is also the case in Tour and Taxis, they have 10,000 square meters of solar panels on their roof. And here you see what we've done with Grafana, with the solar panels. This is just an example of my colleague showing what you can do with it. So we can combine all of these things in one graph or in several graphs, and we can generate actions on it, and we can also generate alarms on it, and we can use it over several devices. So this is also possible with this solution.
Proximus. Think possible.